Right, welcome, welcome. This is Rambling Achieved. I need to remember to put that in every single time. I've done two solo videos now and I forgot to do it even though I've rebranded it. So made sure to get that in straight away and joined again by Brandon. So thank you very much for joining me.
Howdy ho ho, everybody. Thank you for having me, my friend.
It's always a pleasure. Um, and yeah, obviously, as you can read from the title, today is Game of the Year predictions. Um, I think you did one, what was it, about a week ago? From
Yeah, something like
when
that.
we're recording this, it'll be a week ago. It might be a little bit longer than that. And yeah, we did one earlier in the year, which you reminded me of. Completely forgot that we'd done that. And that's gonna obviously be the premise for today, right?
Yeah, yeah. So pretty much my galaxy brained fucking idea here was like, hey dude, how about we put out two of these? You put out one on your solo channel. That way, because these Game of the Year videos typically do pretty well, not to break the fourth wall, but it was like, I think this might be pretty good for your channel to have one of these out there. And my thought process behind it was to take the games, because we already did one of these on my channel a while back, and my thought process was to take the games that Loon already had locked in for his top six, put them up on the board so they'll see that right
Yep.
now.
I'll quickly
Okay,
tab
so
that with
Loon
you.
has his top six games on the board right now for y'all to see. And then we have the list of games, like the upcoming games or just potential games that could maybe take out those top six games for Keely's big birthday celebration at the end of the year, the Game Awards, the 2025 Game of the Year kind of nominee prediction list is what we're going through today. So yeah, man, I'm pumped to get into this because I actually need to let me go ahead and pull up that tier maker myself. That way I can see everything as we're rolling.
Yep. Um, and I think to be honest as well, like I think we said it. I think there's a decent pat on the back there. I only got one that feels like a major like miss
Yes.
being Monster Hunter Wilds. Obviously, it came out very, very hot, but it seems like that fire like burned very bright and then fizzled out real damn quick. Unfortunately.
No, you have a really good lineup here. I think mine was way more off to open up with. So, really, I'm just gonna kind of sit back and I'll do some John Madden. I'll do some Jim Ross style commentary here as you go through, and I'm just kind of curious to see where you land on a lot of this stuff. So, your six were Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, Expedition 33, Split Fiction, Metro Prime, and Death Stranding 2, right?
Yep,
Okay,
sounds
so
right.
those were the six that you had as your predictions, and now it's time to go through and kind of see what is going if anything's going to be removed from that top six. Let's see what's gonna take the spot.
Yeah, I think immediately what I'm gonna do is take Monster Hunter Wilds out of there and make room for other things. Um, because I'm probably gonna even drop. I don't think it has any chance in hell of winning Game of the Year at all. I think it's like I said, it was the thing where it came out, was doing really well numbers wise, and it's just kind of lost its wind, which is really unfortunate because there was obviously a lot of hype for this. Its beta did really well as well, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, or whatever it
Yeah,
was. Like its pre thing, and people were like really hyped for it. So it's kind of weird to see a game kind of receive that treatment because it seems like a
yeah,
very big 180. I don't know if you feel the same way.
yeah. Just performance issues galore. People just had a lot of bad performance issues with Monster Hunter Wilds, and it's you kind of see that with some of Capcom's releases every now and then. It's like, Dragon's Dogma 2, not necessarily the hottest thing in the world performance wise, but this seemed to even be like a more catastrophic kind of, it was rough performance wise. And so especially on PC, people seem to have a lot of trouble with it. So yeah, I agree. I don't think that'll be in there. So that opens up a spot immediately for something else to jump into that top six. And man, it's not to get ahead of ourselves here, but there's a lot upcoming that I think could be in that final six. It's been a crazy year for games.
Yeah, absolutely. Just gonna pause one sec. All right, there we go. We are back in a much better layout. Completely forgot that this layout existed. It's been a while. Um, whew. Right, so as you can see, Monster Hunter Wilds, I've put it in unlikely. Um, I don't think it has any chance at all in in reaching that spot. I think I'll continue with moving something into unlikely. I don't think Mario Kart World does either. If I'm going to be honest, I think this is a thing where they've got a lot of titles coming out um, with Nintendo, obviously, and of the three of them, maybe you'll disagree. I think it has the least chance in being on that thing because what I'm thinking is putting one into each category because I think whenever there's a release of a Nintendo console, there's always going to be something that gets into that top six. I'll be very surprised if there's nothing there. But I don't think Mario Kart World has the power to muscle in.
No, it doesn't. It's I interesting though. I am very curious if Metroid Prime releases in time.
Mm,
That's the one thing where we're having that Nintendo Direct. Is that tomorrow? It's coming up soon. And if that, because remember, the cutoff is like November 10th or 11th for Game of the Year. So it could be a situation where Metroid Prime 4 just doesn't release in time. Say it comes out November 18th, November 20th. Like, then it slips to 2026 and obviously it'll get lost in the sea of games like how it always happens with Indiana Jones. No chance Indiana Jones or Marvel Rivals is gonna be a Game of the Year nominee this year, even though like is Indiana Jones as good as some of these games? Yeah. Is Marvel Rivals? Sure. But like I don't know. That's the thing. I really am curious with Metroid Prime 4 because I have that in mind as well. Spoilers, but I have that in mind, and I'm like, I don't know. I think there's a very strong likelihood that Metroid Prime 4 doesn't release in time.
yeah, I think I'm right there with you. It's. Do you think it will release this year at all, or do you think it will get delayed? Because I think
Yeah,
it will
it'll
come.
release
I think
this
it will
year.
come out. Yeah,
I think December, early December, late November is kind of what I'm thinking because we're already, mid-September.
yeah,
So, I mean,
absolutely.
I would, if I could go back and adjust mine, I think I would drop Metroid Prime out of mine.
Mm. Right. I guess the next one can be. We'll go for a so close one here. I'm gonna go Ninja Gaiden 4 personally. This I think a lot of people are sleeping on it. I think it's going to be really solid. Um, but I don't think it's got like enough pull to yank itself up into that top six. There's just way again, it's just that thing of there's just way too much competition. Maybe in a weaker year it could have snuck in. Um, but yeah, I don't think this is going to do enough. I think this is still going to be a great game. Obviously, Game Pass Day One. Platinum and Team Ninja,
Yeah.
right? Collabing together. I think Platinum's mainly taking the reins on this. It feels like it seems to ooze their DNA a lot more than Team Ninjas as of late. Is
Yeah,
this
I'm not
this
sure.
looks like much more in the realm of a near game than it does a Ninja Gaiden game with just the way it seems to flow from what I can see.
Yeah, I mean it looks a lot like Ninja Gaiden 2 Black,
Mm,
but it's yeah, I mean I don't think it has much of a shot of getting in there. Character action games just typically don't get that type of love, unfortunately. Like Devil May Cry 5 I don't think was nominated for Game of the Year and that's like as good as you can get in that space, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't think it'll get in there. Do you think The Outer Worlds 2 will get in there? That's the other Xbox kind of first party. We could kind of lump those
Um,
in together.
Oh, that is a good shout. I'm a little bit. I was watching Mortismal's coverage of it, and it looked a little bit shaky. I don't know
Mm,
if you watched the stuff of it. It's
I
always the
haven't.
thing of like, I get that you want to make your game as widely appealing as possible, so making sure that as many options available day one. Because what kind of made me pause a little bit is the third person stuff. It seems really really cheaply and like rushed almost. It's the type of thing of like you only get one first impression, so if people are clowning on your game day one, it's just bad PR. Like it's something that you should have probably just released first person, focused on that, and then added it as like an update down the line, so
Mm.
that you can also bring in the brownie points. Um, because they've already had enough, bad PR this year with that price debacle thing and then backing down. And I know it's not Obsidian's choice for that, but it's your product. It doesn't matter who's calling the shots; it's your product at the end of the day. As for does it have a chance? I don't think so. I think it'll be just. I think it'll be probably more betterly received than the first game. I think they probably listened to a little bit and have refined things a little bit better, but I don't think it has the strength to yank into the top six.
Now, do remember that first game was nominated for Game of the Year in 2019, but 2019 was a lot weaker of a year
Yeah,
than 2025. This is a crazy, crazy year. So, yeah, I hear you on that. I think I would agree with you.
it's
I th
because it's also a thing as well. Like that got nominated because it, people were excited to see what Obsidian had up their sleeve. Like it was their big new thing for like the thing that was previously compared to them was New Vegas before that. Even though they'd made other games and stuff like that, that was the direct correlate of like, oh, they can have their own RPG kind of thing. Like, let's see what they can cook up. So it's kind of like that thing of like, you kind of know what to expect for this coming up. So I don't think it's got that kind of like ace up its sleeve.
I think that on this list, so we could kind of rapid fire run through some of them depending on how you feel. I think that there are one, two, three, four games with like a real shot, maybe five, six games with a real shot of getting in there. I think Blueprints, Night Rain, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Silk Song, and Ghost of Yote, and maybe Mina the Hollower as well, are really the six on this list that I feel could maybe go toe to toe with the six that that are already in there. Because I mean, like something like Chronos: The New Dawn, I don't really. I, it seems like people enjoy it, but it didn't make that same type of splash. And sure, a big part of that is Silk Song coming out around the same time that Silk Song came out. Same thing with Hell Is Us coming out around the same time Silk Song came out. It took a lot of wind out of the sales for both of those games. It's like I really don't see Chronos making much noise. Um,
No,
yeah,
and it's really unfortunate as well because I think I've been harsh on Bloober a lot more than you have. I think you like more of their games than I do. I think they always kind of before Silent Hill remake, they just got way too many things wrong compared to what they got right. And it's really unfortunate that obviously they came off of last year with the Silent Hill 2 remake. And it's like, oh, let's see what you can cook up yourself. And then they kind of get that hand delivered to them. And it was like, man, that does feel kind of bad because it looks good. It's a really good showing for them. Um, but the release window is just unfortunate, handed to them. Uh, Especially, it doesn't even, well, even if they move the release window, I don't even know if that would even make a deal. Like I've said it time and time again this year, the release schedule across the entire year has been relentless. There's been no letting up. Like you don't go 2 weeks with just silence anymore, and that's crazy to think about. So
Yeah, I mean, we used to go months
yeah,
with no games coming out, and now it's like genuinely every single week. And you just see games dying. Games that would have been 9 out of 10 masterpiece PlayStation 2 games just dying immediate deaths. And it's so sad for something like Chronos and Hellas Us. Not to say that they're doing horribly, but like,
no.
once again, SteamDB isn't the only metric in the world to track, but it's the only like publicly, available metric that we all have to look at. And it is, I mean, you're talking like 5,000 concurrent players for two games that costed a lot of money to make. It's just, yeah. So how do you feel about that? My overall sentiment there of like, these just kind of looking at some of these other titles, like, do you want to just rapid fire kind of throw them all in the unlikely bucket? Or is there any in there that we haven't touched on that you do think actually has a shot of pushing up?
Um, I think for me, the first to enter that unlikely that was also alongside Chronos. I put Chronos in there as well. Battlefield 6. I don't think it has the the gusto to pull in there. I think it's gonna be a massive launch for them as long as they can get it right. Because they're look, man. When Battlefield devs get ambitious, they usually release really shaky products at launch because it's that thing of like EA doesn't when they can see something is like, oh, that is actually really that can rival something. Like, get it out now. They don't really give them much time to polish stuff up. Um, it seems like it's all hands on deck for this. The early previews of stuff have been really solid, but that's in a controlled environment. That's with like they could have handpicked the best performing maps and then
Hmm.
omitted the maps that are struggling in the game modes that would be really demanding and struggling. So, but I don't think like a first person shooter has this kind of stuff anymore in it. When was the last FPS that was up there? What, Call of Duty Modern Warfare? Maybe there was one after that, but like that's the last one that I remember making that big of an impact.
Yeah,
Where it was like, oh man, that is actually being considered for like a lot of people's game of the years and stuff like that, of like magazine outlets and stuff like that.
right. Yeah, especially multiplayer first
Mm.
person shooters. Um, okay. So, I mean, that really only leaves us with like Silent Hill F and that's kind of all that like I mean, I don't want to steal your thunder. You tell me what you think about Silent Hill F. I feel like I know, but I want to hear it from you.
Do you think it's negative?
I mean, in comparison to what else is up there,
Ah, yeah. When you put it that way, I think it's gonna be a good game. I think
oh yeah,
it's gonna be a solid outing for Konami. Yeah, it's probably gonna have to end up in the unlikely. It's it's unfortunate as well because they are going a different route. It's interesting to see them instead of going because has there ever been like a Silent Hill outside of America? Really?
mm-mm.
This
No.
is like their first kind of leaning into Japanese horror like fully,
Mhm.
which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I think it's probably gonna have the same reception, which sounds crazy as probably Chronos. I don't know if you'd agree with that. It feels like a little bit stiff in its gameplay a little bit, and people are really
Mhm.
gonna have it in that same realm.
Sevens, eights,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I'm expecting.
yeah. Which that's not negative. That's not bad. It's a good little
No,
return for a brand new entry into the series. Um,
totally, man. But that really leaves you opening the door up now to like all of the heavy hitters. So now I think you've got the unlikelies out of the way and now you're just the door is completely open. I think any of these other games here can actually you can make a strong argument for all of these other ones to potentially get into that final six. So have your pick, man.
I think I forgot to pull Metroid out to put it in so close. So I put that. That's so close. because I think that's gonna, like we said, it's not gonna release in time, so it probably won't have a shop. So that leaves
2 slots open.
two slots in the so close, and then oh sorry, two slots open in the final six now, and then
Yeah.
so close is open. Oh boy, oh boy. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark here. This is even gonna blow up in my face. I don't think Mina the Hollower has it in it to get that game of the year. I think if Silksong didn't release, um,
Yep.
oh no, hold on. All right, welcome back. These will hopefully be spliced together, but we kind of ran into a little problem there. But yeah, we are back. I think we were talking about Mina the Hollower and how I
I
don't
believe so.
think that that's gonna make it in there. And I don't know what I said, so I'll start again. Uh, obviously, Crate is a Shovel Knight, one of like the original indie darlings that kind of blew up the space in the way that you see it now, where every year we seem to get more and more of these where smaller budget titles, smaller developers and stuff like that seem to dominate the industry more so than ever this year. And I think that's why I'm going with I don't think that this will have the pull power because what you usually see is in his final six, it's only one indie game that usually makes that cut. There's usually one
Yep.
kind of reserved slot, and I don't think that Mina the Hole will be that one, unfortunately.
So, I mean, I guess that naturally leads conversation towards Silksong, eh?
Yep,
I
yep,
mean, because you got 2 empty slots, correct?
yep.
And I mean, I think if any indie game is going to fill it, it's probably Silksong.
Absolutely, that is where my mind is. It seems there's been a little bit of a divide. I don't know if you've seen people debating over like the difficulty and stuff. Um, it's always the thing when you change when somebody masters a game like the first Hollow Knight, it has a very particular moveset. And I think people are kind of struggling with that difference in gameplay. It's kind of how I felt like Sekiro when that came around. It's like I can see the you can see the parallels between like a usual Souls game, but there's just you need to learn a completely different set of skills. I think that's what people are kind of struggling with. But the people who are loving it are absolutely adoring it. Like it's north of 90 on Metacritic, I
Yep.
believe. Like
I was
it's
just pulling that up. It's at 93 right now.
yeah, like it's very very good from what I've heard. It's also as well it was heartwarming to see because I've been meaning to say this a few times. I've seen it. I don't know if you've seen this over on Twitter. This year more so than any, I've seen devs congratulate each other on behalf of like their studio. Like I saw like Sandfall's come out on so many occasions and been like, "Yeah, man, great job." And then you have other developers, and they're all just patting each other on the back. And it mainly is in that indie space and smaller space, but it's really cool to see. I don't know if you've seen the, I think it's In Exile account as well. That whoever runs that account
Oh,
is
yeah, they're awesome.
fucking amazing. They
Need a
have such a
raise.
good sense of humor, and they also just know when to congratulate stuff as well. And it's really cool to see like love between developers instead of fierce rivalry. It's good to see just be like, yeah, man, great job putting it out.
Without a doubt.
So I'm
Do you
gonna
think it's
put.
cracking?
I do think that will be the indie title. I think that'll be in that final six, which then kind of shows my hand here for the next one. I don't think Blueprints will be um, in that top six. I think that falls out of it, even though it did really well review wise. Um, People seem to love this at the beginning of the year. I think you played a bunch of it, right? You was
Yeah, I
enjoying it.
probably played like 10 hours of it. It's really, really good.
Mm. But yeah, like I said, I'd be very shocked if two indies squeeze in this year. But if there's ever going to be a year where it would be, it could be this year. um, because of just the quality that we've seen and how
But I
much
think you can make
further. But like it's across the industry as well. Like it's not like we've had a massive lull in triple A's and bigger budget things.
exactly.
It's the thing of like, man, even when indies kicking it up that next year, that everything across the industry is also seeming to kick it up. I don't know if we're ever gonna have another lull. That seems like that just every there's so many developers now in the space. Even when people are shutting down, unfortunately, there's just it seems like one closes and then five take its place. It's crazy
Yeah, and I mean, I think we'll see like little dips, but I like full blown
for a full blown year though.
2014.
I don't. I
Well, I
really
mean,
don't.
dips, definitely. Like I think you look at something like 2021, 2024. Like there's years in recent 2019 where it's like you're not talking like there's definitely levels. When you get to like 2023, it's like, "Oh my God, this is one of the greatest years ever." 2025, "Oh my God, this is one of the greatest years ever."
Oh yeah, for sure that.
2024, 2021, maybe not quite in that same camp, but still not 2014 levels bad. Like
No,
I don't think we're
I
going to
don't
have
think we're
another
ever gonna go back to
2014.
that. That's what I meant. Is that kind of lull of where it's just like, wow, there's very little to this year. Very
Mhm.
little.
Yeah,
Because
just with
there's
the amount of money that's being made in the
yeah,
indie space is like that alone can carry an entire year.
yep, absolutely. Alrighty. We will push it to Night Rain next. And I'll put my hands up. I didn't think this was gonna do as well as it did. It obviously didn't. It's never gonna sell as many copies as Elden Ring, of course, with it being like a little spin-off title. But it's done a hell of a lot better than I had any expectations of it doing. I know that we had Elden Ring, and then the DLC come out, and then this. It's just like, man, that this is a they've cultivated a rabid fan base, and that's saying something because the Souls games always had that, but they were very small and curated, and now it's just I don't even know how many copies this sold, but it sold shitloads for what it is. Really, it's kind of like a little gimmicky experimental side project thing, and it seemed to just do incredible.
Yeah, I mean, and it's I think the best selling PS5 game of the year so far. So like, I mean, you're talking in terms of accolades in that realm, in terms of commercial response, like definitely should be up there. Well, I don't know. College football just came out and Madden, so I guess probably by next month it won't be anymore. But it for a while this year it was number one, which is like that's kind of crazy, man. This is a spin-off of a spin-off.
Yeah.
It's not really, but yeah, and it seems to have a decent critical response as well. So commercial and critical response, like that's kind of the two main metrics for whenever you're analyzing something like this. So yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, I think this will just fall outside of it. Um, and the so close thing. I think people, if it snuck in there, I think there would be a lot of annoyance that it seems like Elden Ring seems to be in there every single year as well.
Yeah, that'd be a problem.
Um, because then that kind of you kind of want to leave space for other stuff because it's quite similar in many aspects, and it's like how many times can you do that and there not be like a what's the word a diminishing return of like
Mm.
value kind of thing.
Yeah, a major PR kind of black eye, an optical black eye. It wouldn't look good for Keeley's show at all. But at the same time, GTA 3 came out in '01, Vice City came out in '02. Try to say that all the time to remind people like there are certain developers out there who just fucking they cook. They work their asses off to a whole different degree and having different teams working on different games with the same name and it's like it's hard to but I do agree. Like make room for new things. And in 2025 I don't think we'll see Night Rain in there. But I've been surprised before. Erd Tree snuck in there, and I was like, "Oh wow, very interesting." But yeah, so I agree with you.
Okay, so that leaves one final six and then one that will I'll probably put another one in so close. I don't think I need to even it out.
Well, it's interesting because I think that the two games you're left with are Bonanza and Yote, right?
Yep.
And it's like, I think that this is probably the most compelling way to end the show because you're talking about a game that's come out and a game that's yet to come out, probably the most high profile game left to release in the single player space for the rest of the year versus a game that got glowing like 90 plus, Metacritic style reviews and one of the best selling games of the year and a system seller. Like it's very interesting that they're kind of, I don't know, they're the game for the console that they're representing for 2025 and going up against each other to close off the show. I'm curious to because I I really did, just speaking for myself, I have no idea what Yotei is gonna, because Tsushima didn't hit that hard. Like
Mm.
it hit around the 80s, like low 80s. And so it's like, which I think is crazy, but Yotei looks better, but also similar. And this was like, is it going to be another in the 80s? Or I don't want to lead you. I'm leading the witness here, but
No, I've always felt the first game kind of got a little bit underappreciated on the review side of things. Obviously, it sold fine, sold very well and stuff, and people who played it seemed to love it. But it was low 80s. It wasn't in the high 80s. I think this will review higher, but I don't think much higher. I think this is like an 85 is what you're looking at. Um, Maybe it can creep a little bit higher because it's the type of thing of we're talking about. There's not been a lull in gaming and stuff like that. PlayStation's own output has kind of been a lot weaker than usual this year. When you think about all the stuff where they've fired on all cylinders before, and it's just like maybe there's a yearning and a hunger, so that might boost that score up a little bit more because there's kind of been because like what's the last Lost Soul Aside was the last kind of like PlayStation thing that's come out that's tied to that console. They're heavily marketing themselves, and it wasn't good.
yeah, I mean, and even that, like, I guess you go to Death Stranding 2
Mm-hmm.
before that, but yeah, I mean, in terms of like a big thing, I think you're going back to like Spider-Man 2 from 2023. Am I forgetting something from 2024? I
Well,
don't
it's the
think
type
so.
of
Like a
yeah, because
big
what I'm
thing.
trying to keep in mind is like their own first party stuff as well.
Hmm.
Obviously, they had ties with Square with Rebirth and stuff like that that's come out.
Right.
Um, but there's not been like PlayStation like seal of like here you go guys, there you go, Game of the Year contender from us in
Yeah.
house. Like you,
Astro, what the fuck? My bad.
oh
Duh.
yeah,
1
yeah,
2024.
yep. But even then, I know that kind of sounds horrible, but it at the end of the day, that's very uncharacteristic of PlayStation's like new DNA. Like that's not what you'd usually tie to them. Although it did win Game of the Year, like credit to it, definitely deserved it. But it's this is kind of when you think of new era PlayStation, it's this kind of narrative rich experience as to what they've cultivated these like past two generations.
Well,
So
when we're talking about like juggernauts as well, Astro's not that. Tsushima's a juggernaut. Marvel Spider-Man's a juggernaut. God of War is a juggernaut. The Last of Us, even Horizon to some extent is a juggernaut, like in terms of
I don't understand.
commercial.
It's crazy, Horizon. It sells like hotcake. It reminds me of the Avatar franchise. Like that
Mhm.
nobody really speaks highly of it. It's kind of crazy, but it sells fucking shitloads of copies. Reviews
It,
pretty damn well. And
yeah, it's
yet that doesn't have that kind of like The Last of Us is always kind of circling around and Spider-Man is circling around. I've seen more people talk about Days Gone positively, like universally, than Horizon. Is baffling.
yeah. I mean, it's like I actually replied to a comment that said something similar recently, where I was like, it's the best case scenario. You have something that makes tons and tons of money and not a lot of internet discourse. It's like you wouldn't want to be in a better position than that. I'll take being Avatar or being
Mm.
Horizon all day, every day before being Astro. No offense to Astro, but like, you make a whole bunch of fucking money opposed to Like what is the critical acclaim? Like that's great. The fanfare, that's great. But at the end of the day, like
It's
give me the
very
fucking
unlikely you balance both very well. Usually something's critically acclaimed, like review wise, and then from the critics, and then doesn't gel well with the average consumer, or it's the other way around. To balance
Mhm.
both is very uncommon.
Yeah. And it's just like I look at something like Horizon and Avatar is like that's the fucking dream.
Mm.
You know, that's like one of the best case scenarios as you are somewhat under the radar, but also extremely, extremely successful. It's like, fuck yeah, I'll take that all day. But yeah, man, so Donkey Kong versus the old Yote.
Where the hell's Donkey Kong? There it is. So I'm gonna delay a little bit. Roll Donkey Kong's trailer. You played this, right? You
I'm
picked
about
up a
6
Switch.
hours in, 7 hours in.
Would you say this was the main reason that you picked it up?
The
The
only reason.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are probably in that same boat. Um, I won't lie, personally, it doesn't hold any appeal to me whatsoever. But boy, oh boy, it seems to hold a lot of appeal to many, many, many other people, including yourself. Like it seems to be a fun game first, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Um, it's just, it's one of those style of games where it my damn camera's fucking up. It's one of those style of games that you just sit there and like you're gonna have a smile on your face the entire time you're playing it, and it's so damn good, so fucking good. Just layers of destruction, just Limp Bizkit, give me something to break. It's beautiful, it's so fun, but yeah, I don't want to lead the witness.
Out of curiosity, like, is this as well? Like, you obviously got the Switch one. Is this Nintendo's best showing for you? Like, personally, from their first party in a while, or do you think
Like
something edges it for you?
best and favorite is like very different, I think this might be my favorite thing. But I think Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild is probably their two best games, but I don't like them as much as this for sure.
Yeah, this. Yeah, you answered it. Gotcha. Um. Hmm. All right. I think Donkey Kong slips in. That's got to be the Nintendo title, and then Ghost of Yoto kind of comes very close. I think of all of them unlikelies, because it will be eligible, right? There's no. It comes out soon, if I'm not mistaken. Ghost of Yoto
Yeah,
next
it comes
month.
out in October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of those in that list, I think it's probably one of the stronger that could push into it, but I don't think it has it in there. Or did you say what you think would overall win as well?
I didn't. No, I was gonna save that for whenever everything gets
Okay,
officially
thank
announced.
God.
Yeah.
Thank God. All right, well, there we go then. So the final six ended up being, for me, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Death Stranding 2, man, lots of twos. Split Fiction, Expedition 33, Hollow Knight Silk Song, and then Donkey Kong Bonanza.
I think that's a really solid lineup there. I can't remember exactly what, but I think it's yeah, I don't want to spoil my video, but I think we're pretty damn similar. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember exactly what I had, but I think we're pretty damn similar on our list there. So great minds think alike, as they say, and I apologize for the camera swap up. Does this, are you seeing the damn ultra close up on my noggin here?
I've put it back to the side by side now that we're talking,
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
you're all
Yeah,
good.
I had a damn text message pop up, and uh, anyways, yeah, I think it's a really a good list that you have concocted here, Loon. Um I'm gonna be really curious to see what those, because he announces the nominees in, I think, well, yeah, it would have to be November.
Yeah, sometime in November, before the cutoff, right?
Yeah, I think like the 10th, 11th. So
Yeah.
really curious to see how that all shapes out.
Yep. Absolutely. Right. Well, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for
Um,
having me, man.
Obviously, the link is in the description for Brando's channel. If you somehow stumbled here before going there,
Mhm.
make sure to go check out all the amazing stuff that he does over there. And
I'm just noticing now that my camera, like, are you seeing it move?
I
Does that
am.
pop up
It's
on your end?
breathing.
That's so fucking weird. I guess it's like one of those. Does it track me? Yeah, it tracks me.
Oh,
That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, and so I had my damn phone as my camera. I set my phone up through an app, and then I was like, shit. I saw a text message pop up because I tell you that I got I took the Windows computer back and got a MacBook.
you didn't tell me specifically, but I did see you mention it. I was like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. I my audio for whatever reason. And I took it to the Geek Squad guys at my Best Buy. For whatever reason, the audio was just fucked. And every time I would plug the microphone in, there would be this flashing dot on my microphone. And they updated the driver and they did all the things that, is recommended to do and just would not, there was just cracking, nonstop cracking. And it's like, I have no idea, man. No idea at all. So we're back in business now with the old MacBook, but golly, this is it's wild. Like seeing this fucking camera. It's dealing with the old MacBook and the old like even the Windows computer. The camera's dog shit compared to this thing. It's like, golly, I'm gonna push this thing back. That's way too fucking close up. My big fucking bloated pores. But yeah, appreciate you having me, man. That uh, don't know why we're talking about my pores, but I appreciate you having me, my friend.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure. Um, I don't know when the next one will be. It'll probably be because we're still doing what we've played on your channel, right? Together.
The monthly rankings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That will most likely, I assume, be the next thing. Um, 11th of September. Maybe there'll be another chance next week or something to slot something in. But yeah, it's always great to have you. As I said, obviously your link will be in the description below. Um, if you want to join the Discord as well, make sure to drop a comment down below, and I'll hit you back with a link. And yeah,
perfect,
that's
man.
it.
Awesome, dude. I appreciate you.
Cool. All right, we'll see you in the next one.
All right. Goodbye.